I got fired from McDonald's for creating my own personalized burger and selling it to customers. They said it was against store policy. The customers got so pissed that they created a petition to get me rehired and my sandwich put on the official menu in our store. Corporate 0, me 1. Sure, buddy, sure. How's it going, everyone, and welcome back to EzPz. My name is Zach, and today we're going to be taking a look at r/ThatHappened. Weird factoid about me. On several occasions, I have had women ask me to be the father of their child, either by donation of the goods or the fun way, and offering to absolve me of financial and fatherly responsibilities. This offer has presented itself more times than it reasonably should have over the years, sometimes from strangers I've never met and sometimes from female friends, straight and lesbian, some crazy, some not. I was even offered significant money for this, obviously not enough. I don't know why, makes no sense, freaks me out. Why not just go to a sperm bank? Sometimes I have horrific nightmares about these scenarios. I think just the thought of it has traumatized me. Needless to say, I would never do this. My particular genetic line ends with me. I encourage people to adopt and stop having so many kids. Have yourself spayed and neutered. Anyone else been offered this 10 or more times? That whole thing, I was just shaking my head because it's ridiculous that this has not happened. Spot on. I learned this the hard way. I had a restraining order filed against me. I wasn't stalking the female or anything like that. I had just reached out one too many times. The final time that I reached out to her, she empathetically told me not to contact her anymore, and I didn't, yet she filed the restraining order anyway. She said that she should not have had to tell me to stop contacting her because her not responding those other times should have been enough. Her not saying anything should have said it all. In other words, I should have taken a hint, so she gets a restraining order granted to her against me, saying that I had been stalking and harassing her for quote-unquote years, as she put it. It was granted to her with no evidence other than a few messages, which ironically proved that I didn't contact her after she had asked me not to. Yet the judge saw it as sufficient enough to grant her a protection order. Ultimately, I got it removed because my father has passed away very unexpectedly, and the female that I had been stalking and harassing for years felt really bad and she withdrew it, saying that she had known that my dad had died, she would not have filed it. Well, he died like 3 weeks after she had filed the order, but I was grateful that she withdrew it. And she told me that I was in her thoughts and prayers, which I greatly appreciated. But it sounded strange to hear someone who hated me and called me a psycho and creep say that she would be praying for me and thinking of me. Anyways, yes, you nailed it. Persistence does not win girls. It leads them to the courthouse and gives the guy a record. I could have avoided a ton of shit and had just taken a hint from her non-responsiveness. Jesus Christ. These are roller coasters already, and I'm only on the second one. My mom walked in my room and shouted at me, "What are you watching?" And then I looked her dead in the eyes. A Swedish man trying to draw a penis with his voice. My mom stared and just walked away. Right. I'm in 8th grade, male 14, lone wolf, works out a lot. Anyways, this cute girl comes up to me and is trying to grab me or kiss me, and just out of reflex, I punch her and pretty much send her flying across the hall. What should I do? What's the point in making a fake post like this? Do you just want to see what people say? Do you just want people to say, "That didn't happen, you idiot"? I choose to say Merry Christmas. Don't judge me. If you choose to say Happy Holidays, I will not judge you. I was given a dirty look and told I was insensitive for saying Merry Christmas at Target by a teenager. Her mother just stood there. I asked her why she thinks that. Her reply was, "My teacher said so." Okay, I asked her, "Does your teacher buy your clothes, food, housing, healthcare, and spending money?" She looked confused. Her mother finally started to pay attention. I calmly asked the girl, "Why are you blindly following what a teacher says about your personal belief system when she's not invested into your life?" Her very silence meant she was thinking on it. She whispered to her mom while I finished buying my lights. As I walked away, I looked back and told her this. "Please remember that only the people that love you are your example until you are an adult, and make these opinions for yourself." As I turned, she smiled and said, "Merry Christmas," as her mom was smiling at her. BYW, her mom was wearing a shirt with Merry Christmas on it. This sounds like something straight out of a stupid PSA. What's the dumbest thing you've ever heard? I drive for Uber on the weekends, and one time a girl who was in her late 20s told me that I was making her uncomfortable. I haven't said a word the whole trip, so I asked how I could make the situation better. She said she didn't like how I kept playing with the fidget stick in the middle of my car. I drive a manual. She then told me that I didn't need to use that because, quote, her car didn't have that, and claimed to be a mechanic. These are ridiculous. Years ago, someone smacked my ass so hard in a club that it knocked me to my knees, and the next day I had a handprint bruise on my ass. I calmly stood up and then put him on his ass with a well-placed headbutt. I hope he learned a lesson. If I get assaulted, you can be sure I'm going to commit assault in return. And then his manhood collapsed. He didn't want to take a bath, so I took a picture while he was sleeping and edited it with cockroaches. Now he takes a bath 10 times a day. Genius mom of boys. Right, I'm sure anyone would believe that. That looks flawless. Late last night, Miles went on and about how he had to be twins with a boy in his class for twin day because they look exactly the same. Same eyes, same hair. He was adamant that they were identical. So after the kids went to bed, I headed to Walmart at 9 p.m. to get matching outfits. Their teacher sent me this picture today. My heart melted. Obviously two very different children, but Miles didn't see that. Wouldn't the world be such a better place if we could all view it through the eyes of a couple 5-year-olds? It's hard to see the other kids, but I don't see anyone else matching, so I'm gonna assume that they just had the same outfit coincidentally one day. But hey, they look happy, you know, that's all I care about. My family owns the number one of 6 synthetic ice competitors. We've had people buy from his company only to give us his ice to recycle as scrap and sell them ours. My family has been in the plastics business for over 35 years. There's no such thing as self-lubricating plastic. He makes his out of a blend of polycarbonate, hence the poly in the company name, that is rubber-based and feels very smooth to the touch, but having it made from that also reduces the lifespan of the product by several years. Our ice has a lifespan of over 15 years and we've sent boatloads, literally, to Russia and China. My dad used to work with Ted Bundy at the University of Utah, and every Friday my dad would say, "See ya Monday, Bundy," and I can't imagine how much Ted actually thought about murdering him for it. These are hilarious. This is very impressive. Back in high school during track practice, I did a 9.36 100 meter, so please do not say Bolt is the fastest man alive because you have not seen every single 7.7 billion people run. Every single 7.7 billion people run. Right, that's proper grammar. But nonetheless, Bolt was very fast. Okay, buddy. Me. Touchdown! Noah. Dad, why are you worshiping people who aren't Jesus? Me. Why do you say that, bud? Noah. You should only get this happy about Jesus rising from the dead, not these guys on TV. That's dumb. My friend rolled 3 nat 20s in a row and ripped all of his clothes off IRL. Why? I don't know. While debating 2 Darwinian biologists, I asked why we do not find lots of transitional fossils in the Earth's crustal rock layers. They said it was due to Darwinian evolution happening too fast to be caught in the stratified layers, punctuated equilibrium. Later, I asked why we do not see macro change occurring today. This time they responded that we cannot observe Darwinian change occurring in the present as such change takes place slowly over long ages of time. I said, well, now you have me confused. Does Darwinian evolution occur too quickly to leave evidence in the fossil record, or too slowly to be seen in the present? They looked at each other and stated, wow, you are right. This is our religious belief. But it is what we believe, I replied. Choose to believe whatever you like. Just stop teaching it as if it were science to unsuspecting children. What seems to be the officer problem? I said this IRL on purpose one time and the cop laughed and let me go. True story, lol. We talked about the episode really quick and he told me to slow down, lol. The true story, lol, definitely makes me believe that this was real. Okay, so not sure if this is good or bad, but I just went to Tim's and ordered Timbits for the kids. Well, they gave me double what I asked for and my son Blank says, I'm glad you are my dad. I said, why? He goes, a lot of people think you're hot and really nice, so they give you free stuff. I am dying, Lamau. Right, because your kid is gonna tell you that you're hot. Right. I used to be involved in the business, and I can tell you that gun dealers are some of the least ethical people I've ever met. I once watched one sell a shotgun to a guy who paid with blood-soaked money. Still wet. I woke up during sinus surgery. The ENT was repairing my deviated septum, and the grinding noise woke me up. I remember saying to the doctor, hey, what you doing up there, doc? I remember the look on his face. It was priceless. Uh-huh. I got attacked yesterday by some idiot who tried to do some quote-unquote Brazilian jiu-jitsu on me. I was minding my business talking to my sister when the guy approached me and told me to relax. I said, what are you talking about? The guy then jumps on me, smashes me into a bus stop plexiglass panel, and falls down. As the guy is laying on his back, he repeatedly says, get in my guard, you freaking... I think, alright, this guy must be on drugs or something, and tried to walk away. He then tries to jump on my back, and at this point my friend jumped in and started hitting him. I told my friend to stop, and then the guy ran to a bus. Most random shit ever. Luckily, the guy sucked at Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I only got a small scratch. This isn't real. How does it have 2 gold awards? I sneaked my Smith and Wesson on a plane once. I'm pretty smart and a critical thinker, and know how their machines work, so I easily figured out how to do it. Those 6 down votes are hilarious. The cat filter almost made my dog puke on me. He's not barking or mad, I promise. He took one look at my phone, saw the cat face, and legit almost threw it up on me right when I snapped the pic. I laughed/cried. Wanted to know how he'd react. Curiosity satisfied, OMG. Okay, this one is very bizarre and perverted, but true. I'm looking for answers. One night I woke up in the middle of the night. Great way to start it off, by the way. And seen this creature sitting on my chest facing the opposite way from me doing something with its hands. It looked like the skinny, ugly creature off the Lord of the Rings who wants the ring. I think he says precious a lot, but anyways, I kinda just went back to sleep too tired to feel fear or anything. Then I woke up the next morning. I felt like, God, there's no punctuation, there's no room to breathe. It felt like an invincible entity trying to suck my ding-dong, except it was more like air, but it wasn't air. It's just hard to explain. But the thought of someone wanting my ding-dong for some reason turned me on, and I laid there until I busted a nut. But as soon as I busted, I heard a swoop and my nut disappeared like it was sucked into another dimension. And that's how I started my day. I know it sounds weird, but it really was weird, and I never could figure out what happened. This guy must be like 12, right? So last night I heard someone trying to break into my house, so I just reached next to me and pulled my sword out of the ground for self-protection. And right as the person saw me standing there with my sword, they just fixed the damage they made and just ran away without any of my things. What gets me is he pulled it out of the ground. What is it, Excalibur? In the summer, me and my friend wanted to get into a group fight, but whenever we stood side by side, nobody would mess with us. He is a martial artist and I'm a wrestler/boxer, and we both weightlift. We knew that if anybody messed with us, they would pay the price. Nobody ever gave us a reason to fight, and we weren't gonna just instigate something. We wanted them to come to us. The most we ever got was when a drug dealer tried selling us drugs. We made fun of him for it and he tried punching me in the face. I blocked it and delivered one right into his nose and he cried, begged for mercy, and ran away. That's a lot of build-up and backstory for such an anticlimactic interaction. A thing you should know about me is in the 8th grade I asked my English teacher if instead of writing a paper on the Diary of Anne Frank, I could turn in a 15-page short story based on the song Hang 'Em High by My Chemical Romance. And he said yes and I got an A+ on it. No you didn't. Why did I kiss that girl? I asked myself that question in high school when I kissed the most popular girl in my 10th grade class. She was kind of cool about it, and so was her mother, my favorite teacher. What? But her father, high school basketball coach, and many of the other guys who were obsessed with her weren't too happy about it. I think her father was behind all the threats and attempted assaults against me. What? Question all you lovely ladies out there. I always get the weirdest reactions when I walk into a Victoria's Secret alone. I went in today along with a few other places to get some Christmas gifts, and this chick and her friends apparently don't like the idea. One spoke up and asked where my female company was, and if I didn't have any, that it was kind of a creep thing to do. I don't know about them, but I don't go in somewhere just to look around. VC sells stuff for men too. Did you say VC? It's Victoria's Secret, VS. Stuff this guy buys, and I genuinely like to keep up with what new things ladies are coming up with to woo us guys. I dig that stuff. Anyhow, after explaining myself and why I was buying a female I'm not with... Don't call them females, that's so weird. Why I was buying a female I'm not with a gift of the sort. She looked so embarrassed that I felt like I should apologize, and before I could, she asked me if I was single and started hitting on me. So the question is, what the hell happened? She came at me like I was creepy and then all of a sudden changed her mind and wanted to get my number? How does that work? Or was it just her plan the whole time? Please elaborate if possible. Lol. In the case that you don't know me, that's probably not a great way to introduce yourself. Just say hi. I'm a gentleman, and God. And it's not like I'm anything great to look at, so there really isn't any reason to be shy. I won't mind. Just don't insult my character. It won't get you far. Even if I did like the way you looked at me like a piece of meat in your red heels and black leather jacket. Sorry, miss. Today isn't the day. This is the worst one I've seen today. God, it's so weird. It's so weird. And well, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of r/ThatHappened. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw, be sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell so you get notified every time EzPz uploads. And until the next one, I'll see you around.